be at a time in life where we're mature enough to start looking at our life in a more mature way. And so we've made all the mistakes that young couples or individuals will make when it comes to estate planning or starting an estate plan, or your family or parents not having an estate plan. And so now looking back on it with the knowledge that we have now, we see the importance of actually starting early with the family plan, right? Family strategies, right? We call ourselves generational wealth strategists. And so we pretty much had the same experience as most people in our community has had. That's with families, friends, et cetera, et cetera. But we've also been fortunate enough to have an experience in academia, wisdom, and the things we've learned with other clients, and going through our process of growing our law firm that we want to share with our community now. And so that's kind of where we are when it comes to what we're trying to do. We're literally trying to make sure that what we've learned and what we went through, which is probably the same experiences that most of our families and friends have had, which we're trying to marry that with the knowledge and wisdom and the expertise that we've acquired by being in certain areas of law, finance, business, et cetera. And so now we can kind of marry those things too and kind of advocate for our community to implement strategies and plans for their generational wealth and financial freedom.
Yeah. You have anything you want to add to that, India? I didn't want to cut you off.
I don't have anything to add to
that. Yeah, shout out to all the hoopers too. I know I played ball and also did soccer while in school mostly, but yeah, we always gotta show love to fellow athletes and those who especially learned a lot from even athletics that taught us business savviness, which I know was going to be our next question. Like how has y'all both being athletes and especially being trained in competition and competitive play, like how has that helped you all as entrepreneurs and as businessmen and women? And like, what would you say to those who may be athletes of why they need to or think about going into business for themselves based off of their athletic abilities?
Right. I think it's a level of competitiveness that we have and always wanting to be better than others, right? Being the best, but then also competing against yourself. Because in entrepreneurship, you're really just competing against yourself. Like, okay, how do I do better than I did last month? How do I do better than I did last year? So it's a constant growth. And I think as an athlete, somebody that's always trying to obviously get better in your craft, win a championship, whatever the goal is, you always are in the gym, you're in the weight room, you're conditioning. So it translates very well, honestly, to entrepreneurship and being a business owner. And it also just as being a teammate, right? You have to know how to be a team player, be a coach on the floor, and we go at it like as team, because we're teammates too. I mean, we're teammates in marriage, but we're also teammates in business. And so, if I'm not doing my best, he's going to let me know and vice versa. But we receive it for the most part pretty well because we're athletes. So we know it's coming from a place of love and support. And we just want the best. And the ultimate goal is to win, right? And so we do what we can to make sure that we're on the same page, that our goal is always the same, and that we're going to do whatever we can to get to that, to accomplish whatever that goal is. And that's what makes a successful team, a successful business owner, entrepreneur. And it's just that competitive spirit and just wanting to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gotta be able to have that competitive edge in working, especially in the legal system, like both of you all, especially are helping in that legal structure. And so that's what we always like to highlight is that competitiveness also leads into how to secure generational wealth, because y'all's presentation, I recorded maybe like 3 or 4 of the workshop presenters at the Black Homesteaders Conference that I met you all at, and y'all's was definitely top 2 out of all the presentations that I was able to either see or even record, because this is a subject that is not talked about enough within not just Black and brown communities, but just even at large, unless you're in certain families or certain, let's say, economic structures, that even estate planning is not talked about even amongst middle to lower class, even to upper class. Some upper class families that I know don't even hear enough about how to structure their assets in, again, estate planning. And so, like, let's start from there. Like, how did y'all even want to learn for yourselves about estate planning? Did y'all get mentored by someone who was already in that sector? Did y'all read up on certain gurus that were already speaking on that side of the financial education? Like, how did y'all like get into estate planning, even wanting to learn for yourselves before y'all educate other people?
Right. So I've been practicing since 2014. And when I initially started, I was, practicing with another small firm, Black owned, and we did general law, right? So literally everything. And so for some of our family law clients or people who were in like a car accident, they might come and want an estate plan. And we just did like basic stuff like wills and, power of attorneys, like that, stuff like that. And it was really just something on the side. It wasn't a specialty of the firm. And then as this time progressed, we got our own trust done. And just your wheels start spinning, and then you've experienced in our own personal lives, a family member passing and seeing how that plays out in probate court, or, just getting clients that come to me, a family member passed, they didn't have a will, and just seeing how that plays out in probate court, and just learning more about trust, obviously seeing where we are financially, having a business. We have a 19-month-old baby. So I think just being educated along the way, wanting a solution, and then obviously just putting our heads together, and it's like, there's a better way to do this. And when we were going through our own trust, the light bulb went off, and it's like, we actually need to learn more about this. We need to become special, strategists and specialists in this. And we need to share this information. Because like you said, a lot of people do not know. Trusts are not new, right? It's not new information, but it's new information for our community. And that's have been our mission, to make sure we spread as much of this information as possible, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And then so it's misinformation, and then it's just people don't know. And that's been our mission, to make sure everybody can make an informed decision by being educated and having the knowledge about different estate planning tools.
And I add to that. The pandemic really showed us, friends, family. That was the first time we had people, your loved ones, probably passing away at a very constricted amount of time. Like, it was very frequent. And so usually in our profession, you only see people passing away, every now and then all the problems may come up with the estate plan, or lack of estate planning, or life and legacy planning. And so, then it's just like a isolated issue with the family. Then, it may be, a couple more years before somebody else passes away with those same issues. What the pandemic did is really constricted those things to a very frequent showing, right? And we saw friends and family passing away with no wills at all, estate plans that were not in order, chaotic. And we started seeing these same issues over and over again. And at the same time, we were, I think a little bit before that, we were going through our trust process and our estate planning process. I don't think we really understood what we were doing or what we were embarking on, but that was like the perfect combination of events to see, well, like, wills really don't work. People are really dying, and it's really chaos. And this is happening over and over again. People are losing wealth, their assets, they're losing also the grieving process after the person passes away. They lose their families as well, because the families are in turmoil, or it's drama and trauma, right? And so it's like, it has to be a better way. We were looking for a better solution to actually give our clients. And then we stumbled on trust. We started looking into trust. And again, a lot of the same preconceptions about, it's for, people like, the rich, is for people with money, asset protection, people that are wealthy people. But once we